I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too.
Click your heels together 3 times.
There's no place like home.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
We're
Off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe.
And I'm Mary.
And we're Book Buds. And today we are discussing the Dorothy Must Die series by Danielle Paige.
Yes.
You read the whole thing.
I did. I read all 4 of the books. So we're here to talk about the whole series.
I read the first book, didn't continue, have them all, because it's an Oz series, so I had to buy them for my collection.
Yeah, I feel like you would enjoy them because you love Oz so much, and you probably should read them all. It was cute. It was not my top-rated read.
Yeah.
And I'm a little disappointed only because I loved another book by Danielle Paige. I loved Stealing Snow, and she hasn't written the sequel for that yet. And everything I've wanted from her to be like as much like the same caliber as that, like I wanted to love it that much. So Dorothy Must Die was cute, and it was creative, but it wasn't a 5-star read for me.
I wonder if she's a really big Oz fan.
Well, she wrote a lot of Oz books, so she had these 4, and then she did 9 novellas. So
yeah,
I think she is a big fan.
Yeah,
for sure. So this story is like you take Wizard of Oz and you just shake it up and dump it upside down. The main character is Amy Gum, and she's got an alcoholic addict mom, and the mom goes off to a tornado party.
Yes.
So she's left at home.
No, I just have to interrupt because she must be an Oz fan, because Amy Gum, Frances Gum, is Judy Garland's real name. So there you go. Look at her slipping it in there.
I mean, she's definitely up on all the Oz stuff. There's a lot of it's very interesting to see all the pieces she pulls into it. But so Amy Gum, she gets whipped in a tornado with her house, and she lands in Oz just like Dorothy did. But before that happens, you get to know Amy as kind of like the outcast in school. She gets picked on a lot. And they live in the town where they know the Oz story and they love the Wizard of Oz. So here when she finds herself in Oz, she can't really comprehend that it's really true, that Oz really exists. But it's so different from what she expected, because Dorothy is pretty evil. She is obnoxious. Once she left Oz, she came back and she got a place on the throne, and she has just turned into this wicked creature who is just filled with darkness.
Now, I don't like this change already. And I remember reading it and I'm just like, I just don't think that was a good choice to make Dorothy evil. And like the way that she acts, like it's just like really silly and kind of...
Okay. Yeah. And so that's the part of it that's like, it didn't make it a top read for me because it was kind of silly. But I didn't mind that she took everything and made them bad, just because like it was a very interesting twist. It was creative, It wasn't just a retelling of Oz. It was just a framework of Oz that she really made her own story with.
So weren't there other characters that she turned evil?
Yeah, like the Scarecrow is bad, and Tin Man's bad, and the Cowardly Lion. They're all bad. Anybody that was good in the original story is evil in this story. And anyone that was evil is now good. Okay?
So it's just the complete opposite.
Complete opposite, yeah.
Okay.
So it's an interesting tale because for some reason Amy Gum is tasked with needing to kill Dorothy. She joins like this revolutionary group of witches that are trying to take back the throne and like right Oz again. And for some reason, which like I never felt was fully explained, Amy had to be the one to kill Dorothy. It couldn't fall to anybody else. It was Amy's responsibility, which like anybody can kill somebody. So I don't know why it had to be her, like little...
Some prophecy or something.
Yeah, but it wasn't even fully... It was just like little magical, weird twists kind of things, So it was just a very different kind of view of Oz. So even like the monkeys, I was always scared of the monkeys with the movies. They for some reason terrified me, and they're only bad because their wings allow people to control them. So if you rip their wings off, then they're not bad.
Whoa.
But then you have to their wings have to actually be like severed from their body, which is unpleasant.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a different idea about all these different characters. And then at the end, we even meet the Wizard of Oz, and he says to Amy that to truly defeat Dorothy, she has to first gather all these things to bring before she can defeat Dorothy. And what she has to gather is the heart, the brain, and the courage. She has to strip them from those original characters before she can defeat Dorothy. Ooh. So none of the books really truly have like a wrapped up ending. They all kind of leave you with like there's more steps to be taken. It's not truly cliffhangery necessarily, but like, okay, there's more to come. So I'm trying to remember if she even gathered one of them by the first book. I don't remember. But I think she gathered like another in the second book and whatnot.
Okay.
As she went along.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so The Wicked Will Rise is the second one, and she's continuing on. I think the first thing she got was The Lion's Courage. And I'm going to tell you how she got it, because it's a little weird. She had to cut his tail off.
The tail.
Yeah, and if you cut his tail off, it leaves him a coward, okay?
This is a dark story.
I know. And then I think the second one she got was the Tin Man's heart, okay? So then she's continuing on. She needs to get to the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow is really creepy.
Yeah.
He does experiments on like monkeys and whatever, or maybe even munchkins, I don't remember, but he like tortures and experiments on them.
Oh.
And he has like his own little lab, and like they're just shrieking and it's bloody and it's awful.
Oh my god.
And at one point you get to see his brain, like he parts the back of his head or something for some reason, and it's just disgusting the way it was described. I was like, wow, that's gross. So
And
this
she
is
gets
like,
it?
she does not. Somebody else gets the brain, and things get turned upside down, and she's like, she loses the things that she had and whatnot.
Oh.
So yeah, so like things are getting all bumbled, so she's not quite able to defeat Dorothy in the way that she's being prescribed to do so. So but it's definitely dark, definitely a weird version of Oz. In this one we have Princess Ozma is in it a lot, and
Ozma.
You like Ozma?
Yeah.
She's really spacey. She has no clue which end is up, and it's like somebody just like gave her a lobotomy or something. And there's like weird things about her personality being like split magically.
That makes sense because in like the original books, she was like magically turned into a boy because she was like the princess of Oz.
Yeah.
And they had to like hide her away, so she was tipped.
Okay.
The boy, and it came out that it was really Princess Ozma.
They did that in this book also. They named him Pete, I think.
Okay.
And so there were like different people interacting with Pete, not knowing that it was Ozma, but it wasn't really Ozma because her brain wasn't really there. It was like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
So then there was a portion where they had to go see Polychrome.
Oh, Polychrome, the Rainbow's daughter?
Yes.
Yeah.
So lots of different important names were included throughout this time.
Yeah, nice.
And then the third one is Yellow Brick War, and I went from one to the next, so I'm having a hard time remembering like exactly what happened when. Amy did at some point go back to Kansas. Okay. And so I think this book started out in Kansas, and there was some urgency that she needed to get back to Oz, feeling like, she needed to complete her mission. She didn't kill Dorothy, and Dorothy must die. So she doesn't have a way to get back, and she's trying to figure out, well, Dorothy's original shoes might still be in Kansas because Dorothy has some other fancy like boots that she's wearing instead. So she, even though she was teased horribly by these kids before, when she came back, these kids have kind of changed because the one girl, she ended up getting pregnant and having a kid, so she became an outcast. So now she is treating Amy nicer and starts to bond with her. Amy's like, I can't tell her that I went to Oz because she'll think I'm a freak.
Yes.
So instead she's like, I think Dorothy Gale was a real person in history, and I want to find some evidence about that. Let's go do some research in the library. So they like get detention together, and they're trying to find like dioramas that have figurines that might have whatever, and like then bad magical things happen that like they end up seeing some magic and being surprised by all of that. There's a lot of action in this book, and there's also a love interest that I didn't mention before that starts I think early on, but you get more of it in this book. So Amy's in love with Knox. And they have a nice relationship that's really sweet, and in this book in particular I feel like there was a lot more of them coming together, so it had like a lot more just romancy stuff in it too.
Oh really? So it went the YA romancy novel?
It did, yeah.
Oh.
Joe's like, yeah, I'm not gonna read it.
Disappointed.
But Joe, you like all the Oz references.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna read it. I have them all. Yeah.
Maybe you should just listen to it, like when you're doing some other task or something.
No, I want to read it.
You want to read it?
I do.
Okay. So
was
then,
TikTok in any of these books?
TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't remember a TikTok. No. Who is TikTok?
The mechanical man of Oz.
I don't remember. I don't remember TikTok being in it. If he was in it, it was like short.
What about Jack Pumpkinhead? Self-explanatory.
I don't think so.
Okay. She left some key players out. Scraps, the patchwork girl.
You're gonna keep asking me, and I'm gonna be like, no, 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 and then people are gonna be like, I read that. They were in there.
All right, I'll keep my mouth shut.
I don't remember all of them, but like, I'm not the Oz enthusiast that would like, when they come up, that I would file it away like, oh, I gotta remember this to tell Joe, because like, if I read a random name, I just like,
even if it's in
and
there,
I move on.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I know. It wouldn't have sunk into me.
Okay, well, I'll have to read them for myself.
You will.
Great titles, The Yellow Brick War. I like that.
Yeah. Okay, so then the last book, The End of Oz. We're back in Oz, and there's a different spin to this one. So we get two perspectives in this book. We get time with Amy, but then we also get time with Dorothy.
Okay.
Okay. So Dorothy is spending some time with the Gnome King.
Oh, okay.
So he appeared in the third book, and then he's really present in the fourth book. And there's some interesting things happening between Dorothy and the Gnome King in his little land with like the caves and the crystals and whatever, that area.
Yeah.
Wherever he lives.
Yep.
And there's absolutely still a lot of action that's happening because Amy is still trying to find and kill Dorothy. And Dorothy is just very, wicked. She's very entitled. She really only thinks about having things done for her. So she ends up finding out that Amy's like nearby, and she's like, maybe I can get Amy to kill the Gnome King for me. Like, she's very manipulative, She doesn't care that Amy's coming to try and kill her.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to use this to my advantage here. So it's super dark throughout the whole book, but the way that it ends, which I won't give away, I think I felt very happy with the ending. I felt like it was right. Everything was done right, and I feel like anybody that really enjoys Wizard of Oz would really enjoy the ending as well, because like there's so much toxicity throughout all of this. Like Oz is ruined and everything and whatnot, and we're trying to kill Dorothy of all people, but then it comes together, and I do feel like the ending is right.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay.
And
I did not read any of the novellas because I'm not the Oz enthusiast, so I imagine that you might like some of the novellas. The titles looked really cute.
Yeah.
But I didn't read them. So did you guys read any of the novellas? Anybody out there like a super fan of this series? I would be interested to hear that.
All right. Well, if you're enjoying Book Buds, give us a thumbs up.
And share us with your friends.
And subscribe to our channel,
Book Buds!
That's us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.
Okay, so the second one is the Wicked Wolf.
Oh my God! What was it?
Mosquito.
Oh, all right. I could deal with that.
I know, it's far too big of a reaction for a little mosquito.
Smacked me right in the head. As long as it's not a spider, I'm fine.
But I saved you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, the Wicked will rise.